On this episode of One Man, One Hand, and No Real Plan, we replace our rockers and get some new cab corners. Okay, here's the situation. My rockers and my cab corners took a vacation. This is Project Daisy. She's a 1989 four-wheel drive Chevy half-ton, and you can see that the cab corners and the rockers are a bit chewy. It's been a farm truck a lot of its life. It's just, there's nothing special about it. It's the Cheyenne level, which is the base level, I think, of that year. But it's not in too bad a shape. But we're gonna put some new rockers and stuff on. So the rockers they're not bad up here, but they're just trashed on the bottom edge of them. And these cab corners are pretty chewy on the way up in here, but I bought some cheap cab corners. I'm tapping along here to try and, you can hear the difference. Like if I'm, like the rusty metal doesn't quite have the same sound as good solid metal. You can hear the difference. So what I'm gonna probably do is cut right behind this body line and use that from the filler. We may go about there. So let me mark that and then we'll cut that out. Before we can cut any of the rust out, we really need to get the bed and I'm just gonna slide it back a little bit to give me a little more room, because with this cab corner I'm gonna have to go all the way back in here to get to a seam. Oh!
2 hours later.
One! So I think we're gonna put some penetrating oil on all of these, let them sit. I'll start cutting out some of the sheet metal while we wait for this. I tried to take a lot of care in cutting this out, especially up here, so that I can put it on the new one and trace my pattern out. You can see we got this stuff left here to clean up. Basically, there's an inner and an outer rocker. We're cutting the outer rocker, and there's a 90 at the bottom, or roughly a 90. And so I need to peel all of this off of that lip, clean everything up. Looks like I got a rust spot to fix in it a little bit, which I'll just do with some 18 gauge. Oh shoot, you can't see it. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this left-handed and obviously that doesn't go well, but I need to see if I need to do any more up in here, but it's looking pretty good right now. So we'll probably just finish this cut and work on peeling that off. Here's what I was referring to when I was talking about trying to take my time to cut this piece out. So now I can lay it on here, and I'm going to use a scribe on this. Much better. Now obviously I'm going to cut quite a ways away. Cab corner fits over like this, basically up to here across is going to be all new metal, and then this just spot welds over the top and it spot welds on the back. We'll just have to, wherever we do that, we'll have to weld it across. But so I'm going to go ahead and cut this across and cut the cab corner the rest of the way out and move these out of the way so I don't screw them up, because that'd be awesome. Mess up my new panels. I got cab corner and rocker for both the driver and the passenger is like $150 shipped to my door, which I know it's gone up. I'm gonna finish getting this off, all this off, and then we're gonna check the bed and see if we can do that. I'm gonna get the wire wheel out and clean up some of this, but one of the things I am gonna do is wear a mask because I don't want to breathe any of that crap in, and of course my eye protection, but nobody needs this crap. I've got a lot more damage, like right through here is rusted all the way through on that inner rocker. So I think I'm just gonna make a lip to run all the way across there and replace that section. It'll be fine. So I've got some sealer primer here, and as I paint this, I thought I might tell you what my plan for this truck is. And really, it's always just been, I want to just have a truck. I don't want a fancy thing. I'm not really going to put a lot of body work into it. I am going to try and get rid of all the rust. Eventually we may have some sort of a engine swap. It's a 305 right now, and I'd really like to go up to a 350, but for now it runs and drives. It's got 1,000,000 miles on it. Not literally, it's like 250, 260, somewhere in there, but who knows. The speedometer was broke for however long, and I just want a truck, just a simple basic truck. And so I originally bought it for that. My eldest son decided he wanted to drive it to high school, so he drove it for several years, and now I get it back. So that's what we're doing. I'm fixing some rust, and eventually I'm going to put bushings in it and just kind of get it to where I could drive it wherever I wanted, and we'll go from there. I am not going to lie, getting this bed off and up and out of the way added considerable time to this project, and it mainly was just because the bolts, I don't think, had ever been removed. So we got those out of the way. Now I'm gonna cut the rest of this cab corner out of the way. We'll start putting everything back together, and then we'll see what happens. Ear protection, check. Face shield, check. Cutoff wheel, check. Stupidity, check. Out. Now the floor is right here. This is the cab floor, and the brake pedal. There you go, in case you wondered where that went. But they sprayed some sort of a sealant type of foamy rubber stuff right here. I'm just gonna spray this, what we just exposed, with some weld-through primer, because we're going, actually I should have probably ground that down and then sprayed it. Whoopsies! I'll put a little weld-through primer on that. I primed up in the center, and then everywhere I'm gonna weld, I put weld-proof primer on, but I just use generic to save this because it ain't cheap. So we're just kind of winging it and dinging it on this, but I cut out the chunk of inner rocker panel, and I have a piece of metal here that's about the right size. I use my pinky to make a little lip, because it doesn't need much of a lip, but just something it can, the outer rocker can weld to, sandwich to. So now I'm just gonna do like I've done before and just simply bang this down, although it doesn't have to be as pretty. So I think I'm going to use a heavier hammer on this. Yeah. Precision measurements. Man, you wouldn't think this would be so hard. Well, son of a...
It was at this moment that he knew.
Well, that's brilliant. I marked it on 2 high spots where it's got drains in it instead of 2 low spots. So, what do we do with you? As much as it pisses me off, I think about the only smart thing I can do is remake this. What I did was take the top that we already fit that was too short, and I used it to make the top. We'll see how bad I did. I left it long. It's right out there. So we need to bend it there and the bottom of this one. All right, I'm gonna go bend it and I'll be back. Actually, I'm gonna go cut it off, then bend it. I might bend it, then cut it. That'd be easier. We are back into action with our new panel. Yay! So I'm gonna tack this corner and where I want this to go, and then as we go along, there'll be some trimming. But for now, that is exactly where we want it to be. I'm gonna use the ground as a handle. Get off me, door. Nice healthy tack. All right, we just trim right along that guy, then we just gotta weld it all in place. And again, we're not trying to be perfect here. Ow!
Is because you're a dumbass.
He'd think I'd learn. Now normally I wouldn't have welded as big as spots as I did on this, but one, I don't care as much if it's not perfect, but two, I wanted to make sure I got good non-porous welds. That's what I was looking for on both sides. And so now I don't even think I'm gonna grind any of that down. Clean up some of these and throw a little paint on it, and then we'll be ready for cab corners and rockers. Woohoo! Look at this. By the way, the box says, warning, sharp objects. They aren't kidding. My hands look like I've been fighting Edward Scissorhands.
Whoa, heck of a handshake you got there, Ed.
Aha! Maybe I'm not as dumb as I look. I did find it, so we won't ballpark it. Like originally we cut to here, but obviously that would be like right to here. We cut quite a bit more, so we're gonna need to go further out up here. Probably, I'll cut this. I don't need that whole section, but I'm gonna cut to there. What I'm gonna first do is my scribe comes along in here, which is pretty close. So I'm gonna cut right along in here above it,
and I'm just going to go straight across and probably cut really close to this edge, and then I'm going to go all the way out, just following this and take most of this. Oh yeah, all right. This is just a bit high. Almost wonder if I want to do the exact same thing I did on the other one. Just trim it and call it.
So now that I've got this all stitched weld in, I'm really happy with how it fit. I spot welded underneath. I got everything done, and so on the rocker I need to take the flap disc and smooth this down so that when we put the cab corner on, it's nice and flush. I don't want anything sticking up, so I'm gonna get all this. I'll just do all of it while I'm here, and then we'll move on. Oh look, I found a nut. So I just finished grinding everything down, and you know, it is not perfect, but it is definitely good enough for what I'm doing. That turned out really nice. So got a really nice looking rocker panel on a $700 truck. How this is gonna go on. Oh, that fits pretty good there. Okay, so I need to cut it off. You know, you can see where it is there, but I'm gonna start by cutting it off here, and then actually one thing I do want to do, just to be sure I don't go too short, is I know I marked just a bit above, that way when I cut it off it's relatively straight, or it doesn't have too little. That way I know there's enough metal. How about that? This is just a Harbor Freight punch and crimper, but I'm going to use the hole punt to give us something. Oh, I need air. Doesn't work without air. Now that we got air, let's try this again. And it's just a... Dang it. There's no real pattern. I'm just going to put quite a few in there. So now, the sunlight shows through. You can see we got our holes in place. Let's see about getting this baby put on there permanent. I'm gonna smooth out a spot right here real quick. Now we're lined up a lot better. Would be if it wasn't upside down. Wait, I grabbed the wrong piece. I grabbed the piece we cut off, not the piece we're saving. That's funny. The most important part to me is this corner and how this fits along here. So what I'm gonna do is get it really close to where I want it, and then clamp this in place, if I can find my little buddy. Because the back of the cab, if I need to massage it, move it as we clamp it, we can make work, but this has gotta look right in through here.
For those of you wondering, I did do the passenger side as well. And, you know, we cut out quite a bit of the normal rust. We also found a screen and all of this in the rocker. Wonder how much faster the truck will be now. That all came out of the passenger rocker panel. This was in the cab corner. Somebody had tried to use door screen and Bondo. There's not even any fiberglass there. It's just literally Bondo. As I said before, I'm really excited with how these turned out for no more money than it cost, and it just took me about a weekend. We'll get the bed put back on, but I think we're gonna call that an episode. So if you've liked it, I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing, hit the like button, or check us out on Instagram. We're UpwardPenny over there. We try to be UpwardPenny on everything. Of course, our YouTube channel is at UpwardPenny1. But we're gonna keep working. This truck will surely show up again. I wanna do the bed rust, and there's a fender I need to straighten out. And I noticed this door has a little bit of rust in it, so we may have to either address that or fix that down the road. But until the next time, thanks for watching.